Imagine a situation where something happens that really triggers you, whether it's a rude comment, a stressful work situation, or an unexpected change in plans. What's your first instinct? Do you react impulsively, or do you take a moment to respond thoughtfully? Today, I'm going to show you how the Stoic philosophy can help you train your mind to respond instead of react. Hello, and welcome to today's video. If you've ever found yourself getting caught up in a moment of emotional reaction, feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or out of control, you're not alone. We all experience these moments. But what if I told you that you could train your mind to handle those situations with more grace, calm, and control? In today's video, we'll explore how Stoic philosophy can help you develop the ability to respond instead of react. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy that's as relevant today as ever, offers practical tools for mastering your emotions and leading a more balanced life. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to cultivate a mindset that not only helps you navigate challenges with clarity, but also strengthens your emotional resilience. So, why should you care? Because learning to respond instead of reacting can drastically improve your relationships, your stress levels, and ultimately, your happiness. Section 1. The Stoic Principle of Control. Let's begin with one of the core Stoic ideas, the dichotomy of control. This principle teaches us to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. According to the Stoics, there are only two things we can truly control: our thoughts and our actions. For example, think about the last time you were in traffic. You might have gotten angry at the other drivers or frustrated at the situation. But here's the thing: the traffic itself is not under your control. What's within your control, however, is how you respond to it. The Stoics teach us that we have the power to choose our reactions. Imagine a work situation where your boss gives you last-minute tasks right before you're about to leave. You could react with frustration, anger, or panic. Or you could choose to respond by pausing for a moment, taking a deep breath, and deciding how to approach the situation calmly and rationally. The first step in responding rather than reacting is to recognize that our emotional impulses are often triggered by things outside of our control. Once we identify this, we can take a step back and regain control over our response. Section 2. The Power of Reflection, Practicing Mindfulness. The second Stoic concept I want to dive into is the importance of reflection. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, were big on self-reflection. They believed that pausing to reflect on our thoughts, actions, and emotions helps us gain control over them. Imagine you're at a family dinner and a heated argument breaks out. Everyone is raising their voices, and you can feel the tension rising. This is where your ability to pause and reflect comes in. Instead of jumping into the chaos and reacting in anger or frustration, you take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. What's truly important in this situation? How can you respond in a way that aligns with your values and maintains peace? By practicing mindfulness and taking a pause before responding, we can regain control over our emotions and avoid reacting impulsively. This technique doesn't just apply to difficult moments. It's about integrating mindfulness into everyday life, helping us create space between stimulus and response. Section 3. Reframing Challenges. Stoicism's view on adversity. Third core concept in Stoicism is the idea of reframing challenges. The Stoics saw adversity not as a problem, but as an opportunity for growth. They believed that hardships are inevitable, but how we perceive and respond to them can define our experience. Let's say you lose your job unexpectedly. The initial reaction might be panic or despair, but the Stoic approach encourages you to reframe this situation. Instead of seeing it as a setback, see it as an opportunity to reassess your career path, explore new passions, or develop new skills. This shift in perspective is what allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of being overwhelmed by fear or frustration. This reframing technique is powerful because it transforms the way we experience challenges. Rather than feeling helpless, we gain a sense of agency and empowerment to deal with adversity in a proactive way. Section 4. Contrasting views, reacting Vs. Responding in modern society now, let's explore an alternative viewpoint. Some might argue that reacting quickly in the moment is sometimes necessary. After all, in certain situations, like during a crisis or emergency, instinctual reactions can save lives or help us make quick decisions. But here's where the Stoics offer a nuanced perspective. While quick reactions may be necessary in emergencies, most everyday situations don't require impulsive responses. Think about the times when a hasty reaction led to regret. A quick, emotional response to a friend's comment, a snap decision at work, or an argument with a loved one. The Stoics would argue that the more we train our minds to respond thoughtfully, especially in non-crisis moments, the less likely we are to fall into reactive patterns that cause regret later. Section 5. The role of virtue. Aligning actions with values. One of the most profound teachings of Stoicism is the focus on virtue. Stoics believe that living a virtuous life is the ultimate purpose and should guide our actions and decisions. Virtue, in Stoic terms, means living in accordance with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. By prioritizing virtue, we ensure that our responses to situations are grounded in our deepest values, not in fleeting emotions. Let's say you're faced with a challenging conversation where someone has wronged you. The immediate reaction might be to retaliate or defend yourself aggressively. But when you reflect on your core values, you might realize that practicing justice and maintaining your dignity are more important than winning the argument. In this case, responding from a place of virtue rather than reacting emotionally allows you to maintain respect for both yourself and the other person while staying true to your values. This is where the Stoic idea of living according to nature comes into play. When you focus on being virtuous, you naturally respond in ways that are balanced, thoughtful, and aligned with your deeper sense of integrity. Section 6. The power of negative visualization. Preparing for life's challenges. Another core Stoic practice is negative visualization, or the art of imagining worst-case scenarios. This may sound counterintuitive, but the idea is to mentally prepare for adversity by visualizing potential hardships. By doing so, we build resilience and are less likely to react impulsively when things don't go according to plan. Picture this. You're planning a big event, maybe a wedding, a presentation at work, or a long-awaited vacation. What happens if something goes wrong? What if it rains, or your flight is delayed, or your presentation doesn't go as planned? The Stoics would recommend you mentally prepare for these scenarios in advance. The more you anticipate possible difficulties, the more you're able to approach life with a sense of calm and control, rather than reacting with frustration when things go awry. The key is not to dwell on negativity, but to acknowledge that challenges are a natural part of life. By accepting them in advance, we reduce their emotional impact when they do occur, enabling us to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Section 7. The discipline of will. Developing self-control. The Stoics emphasize the importance of self-control in response to external stimuli. The discipline of will is about resisting the temptation to react impulsively, especially when things don't go as planned. It requires practice and mental strength, but with time, it allows you to maintain your inner peace, no matter the external circumstances. Think about a time when you've been cut off in traffic. The immediate reaction might be anger, frustration, or the urge to honk the horn. But what if, instead, you practiced self-control in that moment? What if you remembered that the driver's actions were beyond your control, and that your peace of mind was far more important than a fleeting moment of frustration? By consistently practicing self-control in small, everyday moments, we build the mental fortitude needed to handle larger, more challenging situations. It's all about training your mind to maintain composure, no matter what happens around you. Section 8. Eudaimonia. The Stoic concept of flourish in Eudaimonia, which means flourishing or living well, is a central idea in Stoic philosophy. It's the state of living in alignment with your true nature and purpose. To achieve this, the Stoics believe that we must focus on cultivating inner peace, wisdom, and virtue, rather than seeking external validation or material success. Think of your mind like a garden. If you allow weeds, negative reactions, destructive habits, unexamined emotions to take over, they'll choke out the flowers, wisdom, virtue, inner peace. But by cultivating the right mindset, you can create a garden where your thoughts and actions flourish. By focusing on your internal growth, you stop reacting to the weeds of life and start nurturing the flowers that align with your true self. When you aim for eudaimonia, your responses come from a place of fulfillment and wisdom, not from fear, insecurity, or reaction to external events. It's about creating a life where your thoughts and actions reflect your higher purpose, and this makes it easier to respond instead of react. Section 9. Amor Fati. Loving your fate. The Stoic idea of Amor Fati, love of fate, teaches us to embrace everything that happens in our lives, both the good and the bad, with acceptance and gratitude. Instead of reacting negatively to adversity, Stoics encourage us to accept it as an essential part of life's journey. Consider a situation where you lose something you value, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a possession. Your first instinct might be to react with despair or anger. But the Stoic response, guided by Amor Fati, would be to embrace the situation with a mindset that says, "This is part of my journey, and I will find value in it." This doesn't mean denying your emotions. Rather, it's about accepting that everything that happens is an opportunity for growth. When you adopt Amor Fati, you stop fighting against the events in your life. Instead, you see them as part of your larger narrative, teaching you something important and helping you grow stronger and wiser in the process. So to wrap things up, we've learned that Stoicism teaches us the importance of recognizing what's in our control, reflecting before reacting, and reframing challenges into opportunities. By applying these principles, we can train our minds to respond, not react. Now, I want you to think about the next time you're faced with a stressful situation. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to pause, reflect, and choose how you want to respond. That's where true growth happens. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found this helpful, please leave a comment below with your thoughts, or share this with someone who could benefit from a little more Stoic wisdom. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on personal growth and Stoic philosophy. Remember, The goal isn't to suppress emotions, but to master them. It's about being in control of how you respond, not letting life's challenges control you.